Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Fitness Friday Posi-TIPS with Rachelle, continuing this very important series on the value of your self-image. Is your self-image a blessing or a curse on your fitness journey, but certainly in your life overall? Last time I highlighted the importance of recognizing that you gotta believe you deserve good things in life. It is, if you don't believe you deserve good things, you're going to struggle, you're going to fail, you're going to be unhappy, you're going to be miserable. I could go on and on about that, but I want to focus on continuing this conversation on believing you deserve good things. I'm actually going to end this episode with my PF adventure. I always share my PF adventures, my most recent ones. I'm going to save that to the end of this episode, but want to kick off this episode. You remember weeks ago, folks, I actually read a letter that I wrote to several managers or several actually members of the senior leadership team at Fresenius Medical. And my dad, as I mentioned in that episode, won't get all into it again, but my dad's a dialysis patient. My parents live in Louisiana. My dad's a dialysis patient, has been for about 3 years now. Is doing well on dialysis. And when he travels, Fresenius has, I believe, 2,000 clinics worldwide. So it's very easy to find a location. So long story short, I came up here, had family in town in July, had a great visit, but actually he went to the Fresenius location in Brighton. There were several close to me, but I chose that Brighton location because I know I always have great experiences in the city of Brighton, regardless of what it is. Signed him up, so he was a patient there, had a great experience. I actually wrote a letter and read that letter on a Fitness Friday episode and sent the letter to the CEO, the SVP, the VP, and a couple of other individuals. But I want to share a card that I actually received, a thank you note that I received back from the Chief Experience Officer, which is their title for Chief HR Officer. Her name is Angela McClure. Wonderful, wonderful card. But anyway, it made my day. It says, Rachelle, thank you so very much for taking the time to share your experience with our wonderful team at Brighton, Michigan. I love the details you included in your letter about your dad's experience as a transfer patient. Thank you for sharing, as this is exactly what we strive to provide in all our clinics. Our mission is to deliver superior care to every patient every day. Our promise is to personalize their experience and deliver care with empathy, compassion, and respect, always with the highest standards of safety and quality. I know how much the Brighton team enjoyed having your dad with them for his treatments and would love to welcome him again. All the best, Angela McClure. So Fresenius has 67,000 employees worldwide, and those 2,000, more than 2,000 clinics. And the Chief HR Officer, her official title is Chief Experience Officer, responded to my letter recognizing that team. Okay, they knocked my socks off. I'm not going to reread that letter. I don't have time, but that team knocked me and my dad's socks off. Just a wonderful, exceptional team. And I hope each and every one of those team members get a raise, get a promotion. I don't care. They were just fantastic. But that is an example. All right, when I see excellent, superior service, and I'm going to recognize it. I'm going to recognize it. And it's just real cool that she wrote that thank you note. And just so folks, but you got to believe you deserve good things. You got to believe you deserve good things. When you have good experiences, when you believe you deserve to have good things in life and good experiences, you will have, because again, you will expect them. You will demand them. All right, there are other locations my dad could have had his treatments at in town, but I knew intuitively, had never stepped foot in that clinic before, but I said, Brighton, it's a hike, but you're going to Brighton because I know it's going to be a good experience. I just knew it was going to be a good experience, and it was. But you got to believe you deserve it, folks. You got to believe you deserve good things. And so, folks, in addition to believing that you deserve good things, this whole concept on, when you find good things, when you expect good things, there's a whole notion, just something that I believe personally, in the importance of protecting your happiness. If you recognize that something, a situation, all of that is working well, is something you enjoy, there's going to be steps that you have to do in terms of making it a priority, not settling, all right, just demanding excellence in situations, people, experiences, whatever the case may be. But this whole concept of protecting your happiness and knowing, you got to know yourself. Okay, what's going to make you happy? What's going to make you unhappy? What are you experiencing now that's making you unhappy? Are you settling? Are you not expecting anything in your life or in your fitness journey or your leadership journey? And so, folks, I cannot emphasize this enough. There's just an epidemic of unhappy people in the world, and we've got to change this. We've got to turn this around. But you've got to believe you deserve to have turnarounds in any aspect of your life in which you are unhappy. And folks, I think back to my own journey, and I think back to years where I settled, where I didn't expect the best, where I didn't believe I deserved the best in life. So this was truly a journey of growth that I've been on myself. So I can tell you here personally, You know, the Rachelle that you see here today on these episodes is certainly not the Rachelle that you would have seen 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I can promise you that. There's people that are watching this that can certainly attest to that. All right, and so this, how we feel about ourselves, is going to come out in terms of our experiences, what we experience, what we expect to even experience, how we feel about ourselves. Always, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. It's going to manifest itself in your relationships, in your professional situations. All right, if you're a leader, it's going to come out as a leader. I actually had an opportunity, and I'll share this with you really quickly. A church situation. So there was a church workshop here at my own church last week, and had the opportunity. We were broken out into small groups, and so one of the leaders, one of the co-leaders of the group, says at the end, it was just a wonderful class, wonderful group. And so there are two co-leaders, and one of the co-leaders, they both did an excellent job working together, but one of the co-leaders said, you know, this was such a wonderful group. I'm so pleased with you all, but if you all decide that you want to go to another group next week, you know, that's fine. And I said, you know what, and I actually said this in front of the group. I said, you know what, you had me until you made that last comment. You're expecting people to reject you. You're expecting people to walk away. All right, that may have been your life experience, but don't articulate that. Don't give people a reason to walk away from you, because subconsciously that's what you're expecting, because it came out. All right, and this person was like, thank you so much. You know, I'm so glad you're here to point this stuff out, because I'm like, absolutely, you're doing a fantastic job. None of the members of this group are not going anywhere. All right, so don't expect us to. Don't give us a cue to leave. If it just don't do that. All right, so that was just an example, just a practical example. But when I think about my own journey in terms of protecting my life, and I'll focus is kind of narrow it down to the fitness journey. Okay, I definitely expect a lot. Okay, but I think back to the last 24 years, more than 24 years of my fitness journey, I've been in a lot of gyms, at least a couple hundred gyms. All right, so my depth and breadth of experience and exposure is a lot. All right, I grew up with fitness. As I've shared before, my dad got his undergraduate degree, physical education, Mississippi State University. So I grew up. I mean, he had those roles. He ran gyms. So I've been in gyms pretty much my whole life, quite frankly. And so I have certainly expect a lot. I certainly have, standards and expectations, but also, hey, I'm not perfect. Life isn't perfect. There's going to be pros, there's going to be cons in any situation. But just in terms of when I recognize, when I have a strong reaction to a gym, it's just, it's a wrap. In order for me to be happy on my journey, if I have a bad experience, a negative experience, and I certainly read those reviews very closely to mitigate the risk of my having a bad experience, and with any PF location that I visit around the country. And so that's an example. That is an example of me expecting something. And I shared with you several weeks ago that visit I had, that PF adventure I had to the Planet Fitness in Novi-Michigan. And I look back on that, and I even think back to maybe 10 years ago, and I think, man, if I had been in that situation, I would have been, all about trying to be at a gym that was closer to me, even though I just had just an awful, just a horrific experience. That wonderful people, but the place, the layout was just something I'd never experienced before. And it just, machines too close together, and I'm starting my workout out running next to a wall, and it just felt just confined, constrained. I'm taking a shower. Number one, that the water isn't hot enough. It kind of reminded me of the Novi Club, but water wasn't hot enough, and that showers were incredibly narrow. It was only two of them, but two showers, and I'm 5'7", and I'm a size 7, and I say this respectfully, but okay, I was backed up because it's so, I'm backed up against the wall trying to take a shower because it's so narrow in there, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm a size 7, what would somebody that was much larger than me, like, how are they going to be able to, how is the shower going to work for them? I'm backed up against the shower, so when I'm finished with my shower, I'm wiping off where my butt was touching the shower, because, the shower wall, because it's so tight and confined in there, just no shower changing areas. So I had to do it in the restroom, in one of the toilet stalls, the bathroom stalls, and then there's automatic toilet flushing, so I'm in front of the toilet, so the thing kept going off, wasting water, just whatever. All right, just not a good experience. But my self-image knew when I walked out of that, I was done. It was never going to be repeated, never going to be repeated. All right, because I believe I deserve better than that. Fortunately, in my own gym, the PF Commerce Country Club is what I call it, spacious showers, big showers, excellent layouts, well spaced. All right, and that's actually true of all the PF Michigan group gyms that I've been in. But that's just a strength of that particular franchise group. Just excellent layouts, do a fantastic job in that area. And so, but that's an example. All right. So folks, imagine if I just kept going back there, with all due respect to those people. Now, people are doing a great job. Doug and the rest of the staff members doing an excellent job. So it's not the people, it's the place. All right. So, but imagine if I kept trying to go back, trying to make that work, and I'm unhappy. All right. I'm going to continue this cycle of negativity and unhappiness. So after that first time, it's a wrap. There's not going to be a second time. That's all. That location is off limits. All right. And so you may be in a situation where you're in a group fitness class, or you're working with a trainer, or you yourself are at a gym where you're just unhappy. You have no motivation. You don't want to go. You get ticked off when you go. You're mad when you leave. You get ticked off when they, debit your payments every month, or you have to pay your bill every month. All right. That is a sign. You are unhappy. Okay. And it's up to you to rise above that and recognize that you deserve better. All right. But until you do that, you're going to continue to struggle, be unhappy, be miserable. But it's up to only you can change the situation. All right. Only you can change the situation. All right. I mentioned in the last episode, 2 very important things in my life. My need for change. I like change, because I'm a very hard person. I lose interest pretty quickly. All right. In things and situations and people. So I like change. I like variety. I switch things up. If you see me in a gym, my workouts, any 2 subsequent days are never the same. I cross-train. I change my workouts constantly. I don't know what my workout's going to be from one day to the next in terms of how I feel, what my motivation is, whatever. All right, but it changes because I need that. That keeps me, after 24 years in gyms, that keeps me interested. That keeps me excited. That keeps me motivated. All right, so that's an example. But freedom, the freedom to go to different places, experience different things. And you even notice it when I was at Powerhouse, even at Bally's, Bally Fitness in Novi. I'm always going to different gyms, of course, inside, within the Planet Fitness franchise, but also outside of that. All right, I have to remain grounded, especially in a role like this, and recognize there's other gyms, there's other great gyms, there always will be, experience and exposure, but that helps to keep me growing. That helps to keep me excited about the fitness game. So you've got to recognize what's important to you. What is important to you? All right, don't settle, folks. There are options. I highlighted this last time. You got to recognize you have options. If you're struggling in a mediocre facility where it's too hot, it's too cold, it's the trainer it just belittles you, or you don't feel respected, or whatever the case may be, whatever factors are important to you, take the time, confront that fear of the unknown that you're likely struggling with, and find another place, find another trainer, find another group fitness class. I assure you. All right, or you can get a Peloton bike, get some workout videos at home, online. You've got you got fitness apps now where you can work with a trainer one-on-one, all via app, where you can see one another. Right from the comfort of your home or wherever, folks. You don't have to settle. You don't have to settle. This is something I say constantly on my Non-Fitness Friday episodes. Don't settle for less than the best in life. You deserve it. You deserve it. All right, but it's up to you to protect your happiness. All right, I know it's my responsibility. My fitness journey is my responsibility. When I walk into any facility, it's my responsibility to protect my happiness. All right, I definitely have a reputation of not being friendly in the gym, not being social in the gym. That's always been, ever since I left Barksdale, so 94 to 98. So from 98 to 2018, I have not been friendly. You're not going to see me socializing. You're not going to see me, even at Powerhouse, where I actually knew a handful of people outside of the gym. Even they were always very respectful with, hey, Rachelle, how's it going? Everything going around? Yes, it sure is. Bam, off to another machine. They were, just respecting that, because they know that's just, when I'm in the gym, I mean business. I'm not there to socialize, whatever. And I'm sure I come across as maybe, just aloof and not friendly and not social, but I mean business. And so it's my responsibility when people come up to me, yes, I'm much more patient than I used to be at Powerhouse. Much more patient with people in terms of responding when someone interrupts me or whatever member interrupts me at Planet than I used to be at previous gyms, because I recognize they have a large segment of any of their gyms. You're going to have a large number of first-time gym goers, so they just don't know the etiquette of when someone has on earbuds. When I have on earbuds, when I have a book or a magazine in my hand, that basically means leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered. All right, and so a lot of people don't recognize that. So I'm respectful, I'm empathetic in terms of my responses. And so, but it's up to me, all right? If I want to walk into any facility, it's up to me to make sure that I have a good experience. So I'm thinking about what's important to me, what's not important to me. And you all see me reading these reviews for all of these planets that I think about going to. I read those reviews very, very, very closely. I had an opportunity very recently, and I'm going to share an example here before I go to the end of the episode, with the PF Adventure in Oklahoma City, as well as Yukon, Oklahoma, 2 suburbs, or actually Oklahoma City and then Yukon is a suburb. But I had an opportunity to possibly go to the Southgate, Michigan Planet Fitness location, and decided not to. Why? Read the reviews, saw some reviews, and saw one that was a dead ringer for my whole concept as a consultant. I know I've kind of coined the phrase comfortably compliant or uncomfortably compliant. And so this is an example of uncomfortably compliant. And this is actually one that was written on Google Plus here 5 years ago. A guy named guy or a female, Dyan, so Diane or Dean Shane, wrote a 2-star review, and it's very long, and I'm not going to not read it in the interest of time. It says, "They police the place like they own it and make it very uncomfortable to enjoy the gym and its people." Bam. And I read that and I said, this is a dead ringer. It's a long review. I'm going to get into that. But that's what I'm talking about, this whole concept. In any compliance-driven organization, that's going to be a pitfall. And that's exactly when I read the reviews, that right there. And there's some complaints at the end of the review about them constantly ringing the lunk alarm. Now, that was 5 years ago. And, leadership development is what I do. Leadership development, speaking and training is what I do professionally. So I just know. But culturally, when you have that type of cultural rigidity, even though it was 5 years ago, you're still going to have remnants of that. If that was 2013, you're still going to have remnants of that in 2018. And so it's very tough to change cultural rigidity, but I won't get into all of that. But bottom line is, I didn't go to that facility. I did not go to that facility based on the reviews, but especially that one. And so owners, managers, I'm going to say this, I feel like I say this ad nauseum. What are your reviews saying? All right, people are making decisions just like I do about whether or not, if it's your gym off limits, this one's off limits as well. Talked about the location in Waterford, Michigan, off limits. So there's 3 or 4 locations like that. Read those reviews, bam, not doing that. Because why? I deserve to be in a comfortable environment where someone isn't, or people, employees, or staff members aren't policing the facility. All right, but in a compliance-driven organization, that is a very common pitfall. So, that happens. Not even in gyms, but in general. Won't get into all of that. That's more of an HR episode. But that is an example. I believe I deserve a comfortable environment. Where the general manager and members of the leadership team and employees trust their members, all right, to act like adults. And if they're not acting like adults, then they're confronted or they're talked to in a respectful manner and this and that. But that's not the vibe that I got from that review. So that location is off limits. So moving on here, wrapping up this episode. On a recent PF adventure, I had the opportunity to visit my brother and sister-in-law in Oklahoma City at the end of August and had a fantastic time. So Sunday morning, August 26th, is actually my mom's birthday. I remember this. Went to the location, the Planet Fitness location on 59th Street in Oklahoma City. Good gym, and we could tell it was some type of renovated, ultimately I think before they became Planet Fitness, it was probably some type of diner. It had really low ceilings. And it had this kind of shaped ceiling, either some type of diner or restaurant or some type of maybe department store, small store, a decent sized store, but not like a Walmart or something like that. So, but anyway, had a good experience. You could tell they had done some renovations. There were some updates that had been done to the gym, but something about this gym that definitely caught my attention was it was an early Sunday morning and it had a gym smell to it. And I thought to myself, okay, usually, if you roll into the gym Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, typically very busy days, front loaded during the week for facilities. But so when I walk into a gym early on a Sunday morning and it has that gym smell or the gym stench, I thought, it was a small hint. It wasn't really, really bad that it used to be at Powerhouse, but it was definitely there. I noticed it. And I said, on a Sunday morning, that's kind of rare, and the temperature in that club was perfect, so I knew it's not a temperature issue. It could possibly be a ventilation issue, which is a very expensive problem to fix. So now, theoretically, I experienced that one time on a Sunday morning, and now it would have been ideal for me to go 2, 3, 4 times. If I would have experienced that 3 or 4 times, then okay, yeah, that's definitely an issue. But it could have been a one-off thing. In all fairness to that gym, it could have been a one-off thing. But I didn't give myself a chance to determine that. Like I told you last time, I'm asking myself, is this the best I could do in this situation? No, because I'm not taking a chance on dealing with that smell again in this particular location. So looked around and went online, looked at other locations, had the opportunity, found the Yukon, Oklahoma location. Was actually, my brother lives in Mustang, Oklahoma, and the Yukon is the next suburb over. So had a fantastic time. Fantastic gym in Yukon, Oklahoma. I kept thinking Arizona. But so I'm going to read this review that I wrote after I got back to Detroit. It says, "Hello, I'm a proud and happy member of the Planet Fitness in Commerce, Michigan. I had the opportunity to visit your club while visiting my brother from August 27th to 28th, 2018. I was so impressed by your club and wanted to share some feedback. On Monday morning, the 27th, the trainer, and I put a tall male, was cordial and friendly when he scanned me in. During my workout, I noticed he was greeting, brackets, high fives, fist bumps, verbal members as he walked around the club when he wasn't training members. People responded so well to him and his charisma, and it was clear they appreciated his acknowledgement and support. When I was on the treadmill, I saw faces light up when he walked by them. Also, Brent had such a strong work ethic. I saw him giving a tour, stocking product, checking in, answering member questions, cleaning and organizing the PF items for sale behind the desk. He did it all with a positive demeanor and a smile. What an inspiration. On Tuesday morning, the 28th, when I walked toward the desk, a male employee at the front desk with short brown hair was walking away from the desk with a small towel in his hand like he was about to go clean something. When he saw me, he turned around, walked back to the desk, grabbed the scanner, and held it out for me while saying, "Hello, ma'am. How are you doing today?" I thanked him for scanning me in, and he said, "Absolutely. I know your members appreciate his attentiveness and willingness to make them a priority." That same morning, there was another male, brackets, he wore glasses, that was greeting members as he refilled the cleaning stations. Finally, I must commend you on your excellent club layout. Small but spacious. I had a ball in your stretching area. The great mat, sectional mats, coupled with the standard size stretching black mats hanging on the pole, were quite a treat. I'm a big fan of doing full stretches and was elated to be able to do so at your club. Finally, I really enjoyed the hospitality while at your club and look forward to visiting again the next time I am in town. Keep up the good work. Thanks again. All right, and a few other points I want to quickly make before I wrap up this episode is this club was undergoing renovations. All right, so they had, things that they were working on, part of the women's bathroom. They were doing some work there. But I did notice in the showers. Now, I didn't shower because, it was just a busy, super busy night, so I just went back home and showered at, my brother's house. But they actually had inside of the showers, they had shampoo. They had the little shampoo dispensers, and I thought that was a nice touch. You see that, and typically, you'll see that in some of your other gyms, your other particularly private gyms, some of your more expensive chain gyms, you'll see that. But I thought that was a nice touch. So there were renovations going on. There was also a PF sticker on the machines, and let me quickly find this. But there was a sticker on all the cardio machines, and it was certainly a best practice that I saw, and the reason why I say it was a best practice is because they deal with Planet in particular. Oh, where is the sticker? Okay, here's the sticker. It says, "For safety and liability reasons, clothing and bags are not permitted on the gym floor or to hang from the equipment. Free day use lockers are available for your convenience." And this was actually a Planet Fitness sticker right there on the cardio machines, and I thought that was absolutely fantastic. Now, this is a quick HR point, and the reason why I say that was fantastic, because it was very proactive. Because as I mentioned, Planet Fitness is a very tough franchise, very compliance-driven franchise that requires confrontation. Unlike other gyms and chains, it requires a level of confrontation. If somebody's got, a gym bag or a jacket or something, according to their rules, their policies and their procedures, should not be hanging from machines. Why? For safety and liability reasons. But that sticker is right there, and I think anytime you're able to be proactive like that and have that on a machine where people can see it and they immediately think, okay, that's right, let me go put my bag up, let me go put my coat or my jacket in the locker. Anytime you Planet can help employees avoid confrontation, because remember, most people don't confront well inside and outside of gyms, and people don't take confrontation well. All right, so anytime like that is very proactive in terms of preventing any potential confrontations, because hopefully people will see that, members will see that, and go put their stuff up and avoid any type of confrontation which could end badly. So had to point that out. Also, Brent, that I mentioned with that strong work ethic, was actually a shift lead, because I was actually able to, when I was signing for the hydro massage bed, he was a shift lead, and so I was just so impressed with his strong work ethic. Also, the trainer that I highlighted, going around giving people high fives, fist bumps, shaking people's hands, greeting and acknowledging them as he was walking through the floor. Fantastic. And this is actually a quick leadership point from the standpoint of, again, most people struggle with motivation, actually getting into a gym and keeping any type of fitness or workout regimen. So when they get there, that's a very big deal for most people. So when you have a member, whether it be a trainer, member of the training staff, group fitness instructor, member of the management team, when you have what I call floor leaders greeting people proactively, acknowledging them, giving them high fives, saying great job, kudos, whatever the case may be, that is powerful. That behavior in that particular trainer, that was a secret weapon, because people appreciate, again, people that are struggling with motivation and all of that, and to be acknowledged, to be recognized by a floor leader is great validation for them, great encouragement for them. And you should have seen the way the folks were responding to this guy. All right. But as a leadership development person, I saw that and I said, this is so powerful because they're getting acknowledgement, and that means a lot to them, that validation, that support from a member, a floor leader of this particular facility. So had to point that out. But lastly, and this is going to crack you up. So had a wonderful workout, a couple of days here at this particular facility. And so, you know, I love the hydro massage, bed. We'll talk more about that and why I love that so much on a future episode. But so here I am about to wrap this episode, you know, ready to head the hydro massage. That's always the last thing I do before I leave. And so here I am on a hydro massage bed. And so, yeah, got the little, you know, monitor right in front of me and getting ready to press start, you know, and then this one's a different location where I actually have to press the button in a different location to make it start. It reminded me of Novi. So bam, I pressed it, and then that thing said 5 minutes. And then you could actually, from where you are laying, you could see the front desk and stuff, all of that. And I'm looking around like, okay, so 5 minutes on this thing? Are you kidding me? Is John Quinones about to come in here? Is this about to be a fitness episode of what would you do when you only get 5 minutes on the hydro massage? So in the spirit of balance, I was like, oh no, bam, is all I'm getting 5 minutes on this thing. But anyway, folks, I had a fantastic workout, another great PF adventure, a couple of PF adventures in Oklahoma City and Yukon. So I look forward to sharing more next time. But folks, going to continue this conversation on the value of your self-image. So stay tuned, and I look forward to it next time. Thanks so much for your time, and make it a wonderfully fit day.